Our country-like bad situation did not happen to any other country. Here strange questions keep arising. An important question is the untouchable problem. The problem is that in a country with a population of 30 crores, 6 crore people who are called untouchables will be corrupted by the mere touch of them. The gods will be offended by entering their temples. The water will be polluted by their removal from the well. These questions are being done in the 20th century, which are ashamed to hear. Our country is very spiritualistic, but we are hesitant to give human status to human beings even though Europe, which is being called fully materialistic, has been raising the voice of revolution for many centuries. He declared equality during the revolutions of America and France. Today, Russia has also eradicated all forms of discrimination and is ready for revolution. We are always engrossed in worrying about the existence of the sole God, and in this vigorous debate whether the untouchables will be given to Jane Eyre. Are they right to read Vedas or not? We say that there is no good treatment abroad with us. British rule does not treat us like the British. But do we have the right to make this complaint? Mr. Noor Muhammad, a Muslim gentleman from Sindh, who is a member of the Bombay Council, said a lot on this subject in 1926. If the Hindu society refuses to allow other human beings, fellow creatures so that to attend public school, and if the president of local board representing so many lakhs of people in this house refuses to allow his fellows and brothers the elementary human right of having water to drink, what right have they to ask for more rights from the bureaucracy? Before we accuse people coming from other lands, we should see how we behave towards our own people. How can we ask for greater political rights when we deny ourselves elementary rights of human beings? They say that when you refuse to give water to a person to drink, when you do not even let them study in school, what right do you have to demand more rights for yourself? When you refuse to give equal rights to a human being, then how did you become entitled to demand more political rights? It is absolutely right. But because a Muslim has said this, Hindus will say that look, they want to make those untouchables Muslims and join them. When you consider them gone with animals like this, they will definitely join other religions, in which they will get more rights, where they will be treated like humans. Then to say that look, Christians and Muslims are harming Hindu community, would be futile. It is such a clear statement. But hearing this, all the strings rise. The Hindus too had a similar concern. Sanatani Pandits also started thinking on this issue. Also known as Yugantakari were included in between. The conference of Hindu Mahasabha in Patna was chaired by Lala Lajpat Rai, who is a long-time supporter of untouchables. It was a nice giggle. The problem was whether untouchables had the right to wear yajapavit or not. And do they have the right to study the Vedas and scriptures? Many big social reformers went to Tamatma, but Lalaji agreed to everyone and accepted these two things and took pride in Hinduism. Otherwise, think how shameful it would be. The dog can sit on our lap. In our kitchen, there is disappearing, but if a person touches us, then religion becomes corrupt. At this time, big social reformers like Malviyaji, great lovers of untouchables and who knows what, first get a necklace in the hands of a scavenger, but consider themselves unclean without bailing with clothes. What a trick it is! A temple is built to worship the God who loves everyone, but if the untouchables enter that temple becomes unholy. God gets angry. When this situation of the house is outside, do we like to fight in the name of equality? Then there is also the extent of gratitude in our attitude. Only those who provide facilities for us by doing the lowest work, we are offended. We can worship animals, but cannot make humans close. Today there is a lot of noise on this question. Nowadays special attention is being paid to those ideas. The way in which the liberation wish is increasing in the country, the communal sentiment has given some other benefit or not, but it has definitely provided a benefit. Everyone was concerned about increasing the number of their own communities to demand more rights. Muslims insisted a little more. They started giving equal rights to untouchables by making them Muslims. This hurt the importance of Hindus. Competition increased. Faced too. Gradually, the Sikhs also thought that we should not be left behind. He also started throwing Amrit. There were quarrels between Hindu Sikhs over the question of untouchables wearing or cutting of haircuts. Now the three groups are pulling the untouchables towards themselves. It is very noisy. On the other hand, Christians are quietly increasing their status. Come, the curse of the country's misfortune is being removed from all this movement. Here, when the untouchables saw that they are getting into it and everyone is considering their own food, then why should they not get organized separately? The implementation of this idea may or may not have the hand of the British government, but it is certain that the government machinery had a lot of hand in this propaganda. Like Adidama Mandal today, there is a lot of noise on this question. Nowadays special attention is being paid to those ideas. The way in which the liberation wish is increasing in the country, the communal sentiment has given some other benefit or not, but it has definitely provided a benefit. Everyone was concerned about increasing the number of their own communities to demand more rights. Muslims insisted a little more. They started giving equal rights to untouchables by making them Muslims. This hurt the importance of Hindus. Competition increased. Faced too. Gradually, the Sikhs also thought that we should not be left behind. He also started throwing Amrit. There were quarrels between Hindu Sikhs over the question of untouchables wearing or cutting of haircuts. Now the three groups are pulling the untouchables towards themselves. It is very noisy. On the other hand, Christians are quietly increasing their status. Come, the curse of the country's misfortune is being removed from all this movement. Here, when the untouchables saw that they are getting into it and everyone is considering their own food, then why should they not get organized separately? The implementation of this idea may or may not have the hand of the British government, but it is certain that the government machinery had a lot of hand in this propaganda. Organizations like Adidama Mandal are the result of propagation of that idea. Now a further question arises as to what is the correct diagnosis of this problem. The answer is very important. First of all, it should be decided that all human beings are equal and neither a different one was born from birth nor by division of work. That is, because a man has been born in the house of a poor scavenger, he will clean the filth all his life and he has no right to get any kind of development work in the world. These things are useless. In this way, our ancestors, Aryans, treated them unjustly and treated them as lowly and started doing inferior works. At the same time it was also concerned that they should not revolt, then propagated the philosophy of reincarnation, that this is the fruit of the sins of your former birth. What can happen now? Spend the day quietly. In this way, by teaching them patience, they made them calm for a long time. But he committed a great sin. Abolished the humanity within man. Erased feelings of confidence and self-reliance. Much oppression and injustice was done. Today is the time of atonement for all of them. There was another mess with this. There was a hatred in the minds of the people for essential work. We also molested the weaver. Today weavers are also considered untouchables. On P. Side Kahar is also considered untouchable. This created a big mess. In such a situation, the development process is getting interrupted. Keeping these sections before us, we should neither call them untouchables nor understand them. Simply, the problem is solved. The manner adopted by the Naujawan Bharat Sabha and the Naujawan Congress is quite good. Those who have been called untouchables till today should apologize for these sins and consider them as human, without drinking nectar, without teaching kalma or purifying them and drinking water from their hands by including them. And it is not a good thing to pull together and not give any right in practice. When laborers started campaigning in the villages, at that time the government men used to provoke the farmers by explaining that, look, they are beheading the prostitutes and will stop your work. Just like this, the farmers were enraged. They should remember that their condition cannot improve unless they want to keep these poor people under their shoes by calling them poor and mean. It is often said that he is not clean. The answer is clear: they are poor. Cure poverty. The poor people of the highest clans are also no less dirty. The excuse of doing dirty work cannot also go on, because the mothers do not become scavengers and untouchables by cleaning the filth of children. But this work cannot be done as long as untouchable groups do not organize themselves. We understand that organizing them separately and demanding equal rights for Muslims as they are in equal numbers are very promising signs. Either end the mess of communal differences, or give them separate rights. It is the duty of councils and assemblies to give them complete freedom of use of school, college, wells and roads. Not only as a matter of fact, but take them along and offer them to the wells. Get their children admitted to schools. But how can they dare to join the untouchables with the legislative in which the bill introduced against child marriage and in the name of religion is created? Therefore we believe that they should have their own public representatives. They demand more rights for themselves. We clearly say that wake up, real public servants and brothers called untouchables. Get up. Look at your history. You were the real power of the army of Guru Gobind Singh. Shivaji could do everything only on your trust, due to which his name is still alive. Your sacrifices are written in golden letters. We do not understand that you are doing this huge favor by constantly doing service and increasing public happiness and making life possible. According to the Land Alliances Act, you cannot buy land even after collecting money. There is so much oppression on you that Miss Mayo also tells humans, get up, recognize your power. Get organized. Actually nothing will be found without trying on your own. Those who want freedom for freedom should strive. Man has gradually become such a habit that he wants more authority for himself, but he wants to keep those who are under him under his shoes. The saying goes, the ghosts of the lot do not believe in things. That means get organized and challenge the whole society by standing at your feet. Then see, no one will be able to refuse to give you your rights. Do not be a supporter of others. Do not stare at the faces of others. But remember, do not get caught in the bureaucratic deception. It does not want to help you, but wants to make you its pawn. This capitalist bureaucracy is the real cause of your slavery and poverty. So you never meet with him. Avoiding his tricks. Then everything will be all right. You are the real proletariat. Get organized. There will be no loss of you. The chains of slavery will be cut. Rise up, and rebel against the current system. Slow reforms will not help. Create revolution by social movement and gear up for political and economic revolution. You are the mainstay of the country, you are the real power. Sleeping Shero. Wake up and rebel.